One of my clients has reached out to me recently. We have been working together on organ prolapse, helping her to strengthen her pelvic floor. And a couple of weeks into the process, she said, Dagmar, there is something more sensitive and much more tender that I'm struggling with in my sexuality. When me and my husband are having sex, it is actually very, very painful. Is there something we can do about this? So when it comes to pain during sex, there is a recent article that came out which shown that 30% of women are experiencing pain during vaginal intercourse, and up to 72% of women are experiencing pain during anal sex. And obviously there can be a lot of different reasons for struggling and having a painful intercourse. Some of them are the obvious things like having recent vaginal delivery, where the movement of baby, primarily the baby's head, can actually create severe tears and damages in the tissues. Or women going through menopause and her hormones are shifting and changing, and maybe she's struggling with vaginal dryness. But setting these obvious causes aside, which of course need healing and integration by themselves, there is a deeper reason that I want to talk about, and something that is very rarely addressed. And that is the effect of suppressed emotions, belief systems, trauma patterns, and grief that are just buried inside of the body, that are buried inside of the sexuality, and are not allowed to be felt and to be processed. So think about this. From a very young age, all of us as women, we are getting conditioning from our parents, from our teachers, from our society, that sex is something that's dirty, sex is something that we should be ashamed of. And all this belief system actually creates a certain level of armoring deep inside of woman's sexuality, deep inside of her nervous system. If on top of that she has struggled through sexual abuse, rape, or incest, all of that can create incredible amount of tension, specifically in the tissues of her sexuality, like in her clitoris, in her vulva, in the perineum or opening of vagina. And if these emotions are not felt, if these emotions are not released from the system, it creates incredible amount of tension that over time results in pain. But here is the good news. When pain is present in the body, it is actually an impulse from your body that it is ready for healing. So when you feel pain in your vulva, in your vagina, in the entrance of the vagina, maybe you have been struggling with painful intercourse for a while, this is actually such a terrific opportunity for starting your healing process. So what I would love to share with you are 3 very simple yet extremely powerful tools that will allow the process of releasing stored, unhealed emotions and begin a free flow of movement, a free flow of energy in your sexuality that is a doorway to pleasurable and beautiful intercourse. So the first step is deep breathing. Now, if you have been practicing yoga or Pilates, you definitely know about the effects of breath on your movement, on your posture. But the type of breathing that I'm referring to is one that will allow us to get beneath the layer of your conscious mind and actually get directly into your unconscious. Because think about it, the trauma patterns, the conditioning, and the stored emotions are actually living in your primal brain. So the type of breathing you'll be working with is a deep connected breath, which is brought in and out through your mouth. And when you're doing the deep connected breath and you're focusing on your inhale, the focus on inhalation actually allows the activation of arousal. This is so helpful if you're someone who is struggling with pain during sex because you don't really feel like it or you're not aroused enough. On the opposite side, if you focus more on the exhalation, it will allow your nervous system to go in a state of surrender and deep flow. And oftentimes we can do the deepest layer of healing by actually tapping in this flow and surrender state of consciousness. The second piece of this process is a deep, authentic sounding. Now, this is by far my all-time most favorite tool. And when I talk about deep sounding, I'm not really referring to sounding like a Hollywood star or sounding like someone in pornography, but actually sounding authentically from deep inside of yourself. So as you're breathing, what you are focusing on is the pain itself. So let's say you are experiencing pain at the opening of your vagina. You inhale with this deep connected breath into the opening of vagina, and on the exhale you allow the sound from the vagina to be released out through your mouth. Now, sounding is actually a doorway for healing your nervous system. So the imprints from the past, the pain, the suffering, the shame, the fear, the guilt, all of that will have doorway to be healed, doorway to be moved, doorway to be processed by you tapping into deep, authentic sounding. And the third piece of this process is movement. Now, when it comes to trauma, especially sexual trauma, what happens is the trauma itself creates a freezing mechanism inside of woman's body, inside of her sexuality. So when you add movement into the process, you're actually able to restore that natural movement of energy and unlock freezing patterns deep inside of the nervous system. So the way you can tap into the movement is you can start doing luscious, sensual hip circles. You can also focus on creating squeezes and releases around the clitoris, around the opening of vagina, and at the perineum. And all of that being combined, the deep connected breath, the authentic sounding, and natural movement is the direct doorway for starting the process of healing. Now, this itself can be done like a standalone practice. You can literally set a timer for 10-15 minutes, lay down either on the floor or in the bed, and do it as something to prime your body before making love to your partner. It can be an incredible way to prepare yourself, your body, your nervous system, your sensuality, your sexuality for actually tapping into sexual experience. But you can also use any part of this, the movement or the sounding or the breathing, while you're making love to your partner to actually help tame down the pain and make the process so much more comfortable. This can have incredible healing effect on everything, and sex with your partner can start to feel beautiful once again. If you want to take your sexual healing one step further, I invite you to download the Sexual Healing for a Modern Day Goddess Guide. Inside of this incredible resource, I will not only share with you in depth why every single woman on this planet needs sexual healing, but also guide you step by step through practices that you can do by yourself in the safety and comfort of your home, or with your partner before lovemaking, during lovemaking, or as a standalone healing session that will allow you to heal, that will allow you to integrate and up level the connection to your body, to your sexuality, and to your partner in the most meaningful ways.